All right, guys, we're going to react to a portion of this podcast real quick. It's the PBD podcast that they just posted yesterday, and it's with Andrew Tate, and we're going to listen to the section of the podcast that just explains the world. It explains everything and what is going on perfectly to a T.
Right? So let's
three of us.
Okay, well, we're all smart men.
Sorry,
right?
Adam.
Let's have a conversation, right? If I want to convince you of something, and I need to use facts and logic, then I would argue that more than likely, I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I have some form of evidence to back my theory up, right? I want to convince you with facts and logic, so I need to find evidence. If I want to convince you with an emotional argument, like grandma or like the kid at the border, I don't need facts or evidence. In fact, we can ignore facts and evidence. So the logical conclusion to that is that emotional arguments are likely being used to push bad ideas because they have no evidence and no factual basis.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. This is what the Democrats do all the time. This is their playbook. Emotion, emotion, emotion. Because weak men and women in general react on emotion and not logic.
And the other side, the logical, rational arguments, have some degree of factual basis, so those are likely the good ones. So the emotional arguments are the bad ones, and the logical arguments are the good ones. Meaning that the emotional arguments that we're pushing towards feminists who now run their households and all these empowered women are the negative ones. Mm-hmm. And the ones that men believe, which are based on reasoning and facts and logic, are the good ones. So we're going to do a thought experiment. Let's talk about the emotional arguments, and let's talk about the things that are currently destroying America. And I'm going to ask you a simple yes or no answer, or the simple one of two options. Who supports these ideas more? By and large, generally, women or men. Who supports abortion more, women or men?
Women.
Women.
Who supports open borders?
Women.
Who supports socialism?
Women.
So if you start going through all of the problems of America, everything that's destroying it, who is the biggest advocate for these things?
White liberal women.
Women are destroying everything.
100% true. And this isn't a dig on women at all. And I know you're going to get emotional and you're not going to think and you're going to go. I know. But just shut up and listen for a second, okay? So weak men have let women basically run portions of our society. And there is a reason for all of human history why women were not allowed to do this. It's because women can't solve things because they're too emotional. In order to solve problems, it takes the emotion out of it. You can't be emotional if you want to solve a problem. That's why you have all these women out here that complain, that say they want to solve something. They want this done. They want this done. They don't want drugs. They don't want this and that and the other thing. But when the solution comes along, it's, oh, I don't want the solution. I don't want the solution because they don't like what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Okay? Sometimes in life, the solution, its optics aren't the greatest. And women are only about optics. They're not about logic. They're not about research. They're not about nothing. So this is the thing about women. They are whatever their feelings are in that moment. They're nothing else. They don't have any longevity of standing, and they don't have any other point to them. Whatever they're feeling in that moment is what they are. They don't have personality. People that may not realize this. Women have no personality. Their personality is whatever their emotion is at that second. That's why women change every 3 seconds. They say it's hormones, and that's part of it too, but it's emotion. That's what they are. Women are defined by the emotion they are feeling at that moment. And weak men that put women in charge ruin societies. It's not the women's fault. They shouldn't be doing it in the first place. They were given permission by men at some point many years ago to control parts of society. And that is the failure. Let's keep listening.
Put me in jail. No. Women are destroying everything.
But by the way, I
It
would
started
tell you
with the
this.
apple.
No,
Now, I'm not saying all women.
They are.
I'm talking in general. I'm not saying women are bad. I'm saying that they've been psyoped by evil men. I'm actually blaming men here. I'm not
That's
blaming
exactly
them.
right.
I'm saying that women
Yep.
are the conduit. Women are being used to do the work of the devil via emotional arguments and destroy Western society. Who is pro drag queen story hour by and large?
Moms, the young moms.
Liberal
Women.
That are,
women.
yeah, of course.
Who is, you name
You must preface
you
it with
name
liberal women.
You name
And the reason for this is because women cannot possibly biologically and physically understand the world. They don't understand the dangers they're in. That's why you get women that go out at 2 a.m. to bars and they say, oh, I'm fine, I'm safe, I want to have a good time. And they don't realize the danger they're actually putting themselves in. They don't think about that. Like I said, they are whatever their emotions are at that time. There is no thinking beyond 3 seconds. Women don't think. There is no thinking. There's just reacting to the emotion they're feeling at that second. That's not their fault. That's their biology. That's why women have needed men for all of human history. This is how God created women. God didn't create women to be on their own. God created women specifically to be with a man. And it's dangerous for women not to have a man in their life. Let's keep listening.
anything negative about Western society that is currently destroying the place and ask who is the largest advocate for this thing, men or women? It's women.
It's
Liberal
white liberal women.
Every single time. And when you point that out, like I just have, you get in a lot of trouble.
With
Now when a female DA indicts me, there we are.
Well, he said DeSantis and his girlfriend, so I don't know who the girlfriend is.
That's why he tried.
But to go there, Tate, when I was first doing business content only, and I wasn't touching politics, who would approach me? Business guys, young guys.
Okay, we're going to stop there because that's about it. But you get what I'm saying, and you understand what Tate is saying. And if you don't understand, it's just, you need to do more research. You need to be better. But women are literally destroying society because weak men put them in charge to do so. Women don't know what is right. They don't know what is wrong. They don't know how decisions affect the future. They don't think beyond 5 seconds. Women should never be allowed to make societal decisions and or changes. This is why I think women should not be allowed to vote. Women were not freed by voting or by feminism. I would argue that it actually entrapped them even further. Women don't like to make important decisions. That's what their man is for. You ever try to ask a woman a question and she just simply can't answer it? Because they don't make decisions. They don't know what to do. They're not programmed to answer questions. They're not programmed to make decisions. They're not programmed to do any of this. Men are programmed to do this. Women bring the emotion. They're supposed to be sweet people. And how do you keep a woman sweet? You take the stress out of her life. Right? And how do you take the stress out of your life? Out of her life? The man makes the decisions. The man runs society. The man runs the household. The man brings in the resources. And she gets to homemake, raise the kids, bring the love into the house, and live her life. That is how the world was supposed to be. And they fucked it all up. Weak men fucked it all up. And that's why you have the society you have today. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Don't be brain dead. You need to have an open mind. Because this is the truth. And the truth will set you free.